The hum of the aircraft engine was a familiar lullaby. It lulled passengers into a sense of security, a temporary suspension of reality as they journeyed across the sky. Mitchell Ring settled into his seat on the Qatar Airways flight, ready for the long journey from Melbourne to Doha. He anticipated the usual mix of boredom and anticipation that came with international travel. He never expected this flight to etch itself into his memory as the most harrowing experience of his life. The early hours of the flight were unremarkable. Passengers chatted, read, or drifted off to sleep. The gentle lull of the cabin was broken only by the occasional murmur of conversation or the clinking of drink carts. But as the flight wore on, a strange unease began to creep through the cabin. It started subtly, a hushed whisper traveling from row to row. A commotion erupted a few rows ahead of Mitchell. He craned his neck, trying to discern the source of the disturbance. Passengers leaned into the aisle, their faces etched with concern and morbid curiosity. He heard snippets of hushed conversation. "Someone's sick, I think she's passed out." Mitchell, along with the rest of the passengers, watched as flight attendants rushed to the scene. Their initial flurry of activity was quickly replaced by a chilling stillness. The gravity of the situation descended upon the cabin like a shroud. A cold announcement crackled over the intercom, confirming their worst fears. A woman had died. The news hit Mitchell with the force of a physical blow. Death, that unwelcome specter, had boarded the plane. It now occupied the same space, breathed the same recycled air as the living. A wave of nausea washed over him, a primal fear gripping at his insides. What happened next was a blur of disbelief and horror. Mitchell watched, his blood turning to ice, as flight attendants moved the deceased woman. They placed her lifeless body in the row next to him. For the remaining 4 hours of the flight, Mitchell was forced to endure the unthinkable, being mere inches away from death. The woman's stillness was a macabre contrast to the bustle of the cabin. The faint scent of decay, a chilling reminder of her passing, mingled with the recycled air. He couldn't escape the sight of her pale hand, the way her head lolled unnaturally to the side. The image was forever seared into his mind. The trauma of that experience was amplified by the airline's seeming indifference. Despite his pleas, Mitchell's requests for a different seat were met with shrugs and apologies. He was trapped, a captive audience to death's cruel spectacle. The flight eventually landed, but the nightmare lingered. Mitchell, along with other passengers, disembarked the plane, forever marked by the experience. The lack of support from Qatar Airways added insult to injury. The perfunctory apology and the promise of an investigation did little to soothe the raw emotional wounds. The incident sparked outrage and ignited a conversation about the airline's shocking lack of protocol in dealing with death on board. It served as a chilling reminder that behind the glossy brochures and the promise of efficient travel, airlines were ill-equipped to handle the fragility of human life. The incident left an indelible mark on Mitchell, a stark reminder of our shared mortality. It also underscored the urgent need for better protocols, for training and resources that would equip airlines to deal with such tragedies with compassion and dignity. The skies, after all, held no monopoly on life's unexpected turns. Thanks for stopping by today, Hot Reels. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give it a like. Your support helps us bring you more amazing content. Stay connected with us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, Pinterest, and Threads for the latest updates and trending reels. Subscribe now and be part of the fun.